about the index, I want to bring your attention to one number, 196 million. That is the number of employable women that are currently out of India's workforce. If you consider the gross enrollment ratio in education, more women are graduating than men. Today, over 51% of undergraduate enrollment in science courses are women. But when it comes to participation of women in formal jobs, that number comes down to 18% and unfortunately has stayed stagnant at 18% over the last 5 years. This is a big opportunity we are sitting on. The government of India and state governments absolutely realize it. And therefore, India has one of the biggest gender budgets in the world. It was 6.8% last year and 8.9% this year. There are significant allocations for working women's hostels, childcare centers, women entrepreneurship schemes, you name it. At this juncture, it is critical that the private sector, government bodies, and civil society organizations like us come together to take advantage of this talent pool and this momentum and this unique position that our country holds on the international stage with all the geopolitical shifts that are currently on today. Close the gender gap, Gender Parity Index is a big step in that direction. Udaiti started work on Close the Gender Gap program 30 by 30 about a year and a half ago. And the idea was to start with data, capture data from over 2,000 NSE-listed companies through their annual reports and BRSR reports. We looked at workforce participation, pay parity, etc. And then in collaboration with Wipro, we created dashboards to make all of this information available to decision makers in corporate India. The platform is called Close the Gender Gap Data Hub, which is available on the Udaiti website. Many of the organizations that we are closely working with are in the room, Metropolis Health in Health, Quest Corp and Team Lease in Flexi Staffing, Dr. Reddy's and Biocon Biologics in Pharma and Life Sciences, Mahindra and Mahindra in auto manufacturing, Wipro and HCL Technologies in IT. And they're committed to bringing this making this happen. And that partnership is extremely important for us to move forward. Now, through the Gender Parity Index, firstly, we want to systemically highlight organizations that are leading in the gender diversity and inclusion and share their story of what they have done so far and how they have accomplished it. And really, it is not about the exact number, because when we start looking at numbers, healthcare is at 44%, whereas power and energy is at 2% and 3% respectively when it comes to women's workforce participation. So it is about the trajectory. It is about the systemic processes that organizations are building for sustained progress. The Gender Parity Index includes key data from BRSR reports, which is gender disaggregated workforce data, pay parity, provision of benefits, for example, parental leave, daycare facilities, turnover and retention rates, and POSH data. Secondly, we would like to use this platform to encourage other companies to follow suit and enhance gender parity practices and improve, like Shireen said, transparency in gender data reporting. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. The CGG index assigns weightage across 3 thematic areas: women's representation, retention, and leadership. And all of those details are available on the Udaiti website. The big idea is to have more corporate leaders and organizations commit to improving gender representation in their organizations and sectors, and then we work together to dismantle some of the barriers on the demand side, like hiring, retention, advancement, and return to work. Frankly, some of those are low-hanging fruits. When we are working with companies in logistics, there are companies that are committed to having more women, but when they are putting up posters for finding delivery folks, they'll say delivery boys want it. So women will not even apply. Those are low-hanging fruits. We can fix those. Some of them will be complex challenges and require sustained, dedicated effort to dismantle. Safety, security, safe and affordable housing for women when they move to other cities. I want to promise Udaiti's unequivocal support in working with different stakeholders to make that happen. And of course, pro bono, because we are a not-for-profit organization. And I request your support by joining the Close the Gender Gap CEO Consortium in actively shaping not only this Gender Parity Index, but also our efforts towards getting to 30% women's workforce representation in corporate India from the paltry 18% where it has been stuck at over the last 5 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching us on CNBC TV18. For all news and updates, subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch us on all social media platforms.